in their veins. Mackie and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Our guys out there are not going to stop playing. I don't even know if some of them, I think some realize exactly what's going on. Some guys are just out there doing what they do, not changing nothing and not thinking anything differently than if you have, a Arraez out there or a Buck out there every day or anything like that. Playing today, without one of the best players in the game playing center field, that doesn't affect the mindset of our guys. We went out there and fought hard and left here winning a really great series.
Did you guys see the little thing in the bottom of the right corner, that little pouch? Guys, let me just show this again so I can give you guys.
Our guys out there are not going to stop playing.
See that thing in the bottom? Those are like squeeze pouches I give to like my baby nephews. Why is it an adult man?
Is it like Pedialyte?
I guess it could be. Like I give those to like
NFL
my
players.
kids.
NFL players will consume Pedialyte just to replenish after practice. Maybe that's the secret. Are you saying this is a Mark McGwire situation where the Twins just have PEDs sitting out? The manager just has PEDs sitting out. How do you
get through the games?
How do you take 2 of 3 from? I was told by Judd there's no way to even score a run in this series unless you have some sort of performance enhancer. That's what I was told.
Well, that's what they use now. Now we know they cheated. Kill the song, they cheated.
Well, let's start. It's Monday statements. Let's start out. We got a batch of Twin statements. We'll talk a little Timberwolves later. Declan has a buffoon of the week that he's been wanting to rant about this for at least the last 24 hours or so. But statement number 1 for me is the Twins did an unbelievable job overcoming Judd Zulgad's negativity over the past 3 days to take 2 out of 3 games. By the way, the Twins gave up 21 runs in the 3 games to an excellent lineup. I think if you would have said, all right, all these guys are going to be, these unvaxxed players can't travel. They got a couple other guys on the COVID list. They got players on the injured list. And they're basically going to run out spring training lineups and give up 21 runs in 3 games. How's the series going to go? Taking 2 of 3 probably wasn't high on the list. Yesterday, the Twins beat the brakes off one of the best starting pitchers in baseball the last 2 seasons, Kevin Gausman, former number 5 overall pick. Of course, the Orioles botched him like they do everyone. And they put, I think it was the biggest beatdown he's had all season, maybe the last 2 seasons. All because Judd Zulgad just can't muster anything nice to say about this team.
I lit a fire under him?
Whiteboard material.
Is that what you're saying? I lit a fire below the boys?
My guess is
Toronto?
They probably had Mackie and Judd episodes playing on loop in the clubhouse.
I love to hear
throughout
that.
the entire series.
That's our goal.
And
That's our goal.
Congratulations to the Twins for overcoming the negative media in this town, led by Judd Zulgad. That's my
no
first
Correa, no Joe Ryan, no Sonny Gray, no Kep, no Pagan, no
problem.
No Lewis, no Buxton on Sunday. Exactly.
Wow.
This was inspired. I was very happy with how this team
Yes, tell us how you feel.
after losing 4 of 5 to a Tigers team. That's a complete joke. I was very happy to see them rebound in 3 games and win 2. And now I'm curious about the future. Now I'm curious about what the future holds. Certainly the flaws, certainly the issues that this team is going to have to contend with if they are going to become a realistic playoff team, one that can make a run, came to light Saturday, for instance. Bullpen a little bit yesterday. But those things being said, yes, I was very happy to see the Twins do something positive. Does this mean that I have now completely fallen head over heels for this team? Absolutely not.
I think
we'll still hold them accountable.
It was nice hearing your thoughts. There's 2 words maybe I missed something, but there were 2 words the word apologize and the word wrong. Declan, just going back the last 2 minutes of Judd reacting.
Oh, there's no apology.
I don't know that I heard.
There's no
sorry.
apology.
We are 4:30 in, and I have yet to hear I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm not sorry. No. I was wrong about them being swept. No, hell no. Hell no. You get your ass whooped by the Bengals, and I'm not. No. There's no
Bengals?
apology. The Tigers.
I admitted I was wrong about the
beat
Bengals. You can admit you're wrong about the Twins.
No. Sorry.
He means the Tigers.
The Tigers are called the Bengals.
Okay.
Try to keep up here. Yeah.
So anyway, Anyway, I was wrong because on Write That Down, as we will find on Wednesday, I said the Twins would be swept. So no question, I was wrong. Apology? I don't think so.
I think, but you went so far down the path of this is all bleeped. This is all screwed up. The clubhouse is going to be a disaster. There's no way they're going to, look at the teams they have to play. And I tried to talk you back on Thursday last week and say, first of all, they've built up a ton of equity already. They have a 5-game lead in the division, 10 games over 500. And it's baseball. You can run out. I mean, the worst teams in baseball still find a way to win 60 out of 160 games. So it's not doom and gloom and a death sentence, this rough stretch they're going through. And I was right.
You were right.
Ding, ding.
You were right. Now, are they going to win a playoff game, though? You see, the accountability to me is it carries on for months now.
That's like 3 months down the road here. There's plenty of things.
3 months is a very short time. Do not minimize the importance of the pressure that Score North will continue to put on this team until we get the results that are desired, which is a World Series championship.
And I obviously subscribe to raising standards around here, but if you're just going to do this thing for 3 months where you just crap on them and let's let things play out. You can't just say on Thursday last week that, well, they're screwed. They're not going to make the playoffs and everything they do. I think there's a balance here that you went too far with last Thursday.
Some of that you will recall is our colleague, Patrick. Patrick was more down on them. Patrick predicted that they would be swept in the next 3 series and by next Sunday not be in first place. In this crappy division, it would take an act of God to fall out of first place right now. So I did not go that far. So I think you're mistaking some of the crapping on this team that Patrick did. But yes, I saw doom and gloom, and they won 2 of 3. I'm impressed. I'm also curious if this might also open up an opportunity to look at maybe shopping a guy or two.
What?
You just won 2 of 3 without Kepler, who probably has value. Kirilloff is mashing. Larnach is damn good. My point is, this is. I looked at this and said, could there be an opportunity for a few changes too?
Would you trade 6 years of Alex Kirilloff for a year and a half of Frankie Montas? I think
I'm open to it.
I don't trust his wrist. His wrist is bad news.
I would do it.
That's it.
Do it.
My initial inclination is, but yeah, you're right. That wrist is now he has come back, and I think he's had
he's
a couple multiple home run games for the Saints. So he is playing well. But all I'm saying is I thought the weekend opened up an opportunity that I saw some things that I really liked from some guys that I don't think we would have seen as much of. Hey, you know what?
They won a series, and you're trying to trade one of their best players.
You're the spin doctor here. I don't know. I think hey, listen, I probably got a little aggressive there with my Twins angst on Thursday.
I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. I am not apologizing. I'm sorry.
They could get swept by the Yankees here, and then you can do a victory dance on Thursday.
I don't want to do a victory dance. Here's what I want. I want to win a damn playoff game, and I'm not.
Yes, that's 3 months away, 4 months away.
I don't care.
What do you want?
I don't care that it's 3 or 4 months away. The accountability. When you raise a child, you don't say, I don't care what happens to my kid in October because it's June. You say, I care about my child throughout the course of the upbringing.
But, okay, so you're looking for signs, and I don't want my kid to be a screw-up. I want my kid to look like this when he's 18.
Correct.
And so you're looking to mold things. You're looking for signs when he's 10, when he's 12, coming from non-parents here on the show, of course. We're going to be parenting experts here right now.
We're sports parents.
We're dog parents. We're sports parents.
We're sports parents. We're raising these damn teams. Somebody has to.
If it's me and I'm looking for, in 4 months from now, when my child is ready to reemerge into the world of playoff baseball, a world that has been really bad for them, with all the other children that we've put out into the world of playoff baseball. We've had, 7 Twins children or whatever, going back to 2004. All of them have basically been incarcerated or fired from all their jobs. They've just been they can't win in the game of playoff baseball. I'm looking for them to overcome adversity. I'm looking for them to show some mental toughness. I'm looking for them to go to Toronto with a B squad and take care of business and win 2 out of 3. So again, the Yankees are a whole different animal, and they're coming to town here for the next 3 days, starting Tuesday. And we're going to talk to our guy Talkin' Jake, by the way, from John Boy Media on tomorrow's show. So
perfect timing too.
But I look at that Toronto series and say, no, they're not ready to be the World Series favorites or anything. But that's a good sign. They just went up there, all sorts of adversity, losing a bunch of games to the Tigers, and they just completely put their grapefruits on the table against a really good baseball team. So
yes. All joking aside, I agree completely. That is an impressive performance because you got done in game 2 and came back and won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
without Buck.
I don't disagree with that.
All right.
Okay.
My statement. Hey, Twins, go prove Zulgad wrong this week. So in classic Twins-Yankees lore, another chapter in the Twins-Yankees series, spirits are riding a roller coaster. Some of us are nervous. Some of us are overly confident. So go figure, here come the New York Yankees to town, who have absolutely no history of crushing and stomping on the hearts of Twins fans. It also doesn't help that the Yankees have been the best team in the American League this season. So if the Twins go on and take a rare series win over the Yankees, I know a certain someone on this show will gladly eat crow and gladly eat his words.
You beat the Yankees?
If they take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees.
I'd be super impressed.
And here's the fun part about this, because this is going to be a task. Because the pitching matchups this week against the Yankees. Let me read these for you.
I've written them down too because they're so impressive for the Yankees.
It's Chris Archer versus Nestor Cortez on Tuesday.
Nestor the molester.
He might win the Cy Young this year. He leads the league in ERA. He's faced the most batters. He goes deep into games. He literally probably might win the Cy Young. So he gets Chris Archer, all 55, 60 pitches of them, and 2 times through the order. Then he get Dylan Bundy versus Garrett Cole on Wednesday, which I'll be in attendance for. That should be great.
Those are 2 very high first-round draft picks. That should be an epic matchup between 2 very highly touted
former
top
Pirate,
5 picks.
Former O, be great.
Be great. Smeltzer versus Drew Rasmussen on Thursday to close the series. So, if the Twins can beat the Yankees in a series with the back half of their rotation, Zulgad should gladly eat crow.
Oh,
so
God,
make Zulgad eat crow this week if the Twins take the series against the Yankees.
I'd welcome that. That'd be awesome.
Also,
I'm actually excited for these three games, and I can't say that in the last 2 years I've been super excited, or at least in the last year, I've been super excited for a Twin series. So
I also want to be voice of reason here, just in advance, that if they get swept by the Yankees, it doesn't mean anything other than the Twins have a crappy back half of the rotation with a bunch of fill-in pitchers and a spring training lineup, and the Yankees are dialed in and winning a ton of games with a bunch of dudes like Aaron Judge hitting bombs all over the place.
Who's back? Who's going to come back now? Is Correa close? Is Joe Ryan close?
No idea. They're not very open about timelines with some of these things. So
I don't know. Yeah, it sounds like Joe Ryan's fine. I know he's still in town. I don't really understand why he's not activated yet.
And Correa was vaxxed.
Yeah.
So I would imagine he
should
didn't
be
get
fine.
Too sick. He should be okay.
I'm just curious. Do we have any idea what Royce Lewis's status is beyond the 10-day injured list?
No, we have not heard. They said that they were going to do, when the swelling in that knee went down, they were going to do another MRI to confirm that there wasn't more damage than they initially thought. But we have not heard a thing since, and I haven't seen any follow-up stories.
Okay.
Dudley.
All right. Okay. Mr. Positive here. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Positive, and I'm going to give you this. And we can debate the importance of this stat, but I'm going to flat out tell you, my statement is, he's a delight to watch. And I am speaking of Luis Arraez. In fact, Dex?
Arraez.
That's good. You're getting good at that.
Thank you.
4 for 4 on Sunday. Now leads the American League with a 358 average, and we can debate that. I know that there's, wins and average, and who cares? But nonetheless, if you watch this guy on a consistent basis, how fun is it to watch what literally to me seems, when he's going well, like it's a tutorial on how to hit? Like not a tutorial on launch angle, not a tutorial on trying to hit home runs, but a tutorial on what in my day as a youth they used to call guys that were professional hitters.
Pure hitters, right?
Yes, that's what this guy is. And how much fun is it to watch him work counts work pitchers and just slap that ball to left. I mean, it's so easy. He makes it look simple, and the fact is, it's probably one of the hardest things in sports to do.
Yeah, he is. I just pulled up some numbers this morning just to see, okay, how good is he this season compared to the rest of the league? And offense is down this year across baseball. This is like a dead ball season, and there's some speculation that they may have altered the baseball in the last few days again. All the home runs that were hit on Friday.
You think?
It was like one of the biggest home run nights of all time in baseball history. So maybe they're altering the baseball again. They've done it 2 or 3 times in season over the last 5 or 6 years. But Luis Arraez is batting .358, which leads the major leagues. He has a .447 on base percentage, which leads the major leagues by 25 points over Paul Goldschmidt, who has, I think, a 41-game on base streak. Yeah. And Luis Arraez has an on base percentage 25 points better than that. 8% strikeout rate, which is 4th lowest in all of baseball. And this, I'm digging really deep into the nerd bag for this one, but he makes weak contact, according to Fangraphs, on only 8% of batted balls. So, like, 9 out of every 10 balls he hits are line drives or at least, I don't know what the way you would phrase it, strong contact of some kind. And so, yeah, like he's also an example of why strikeouts matter. We've debated this and talked about this on the show before, but we've gone so far down the path of, well, an out's an out, and if strikeouts happen, and like to a certain extent, yeah, if you need to sacrifice some strikeouts, if you're going to have 50 extra strikeouts, but then hit 20 extra home runs or something, all right, then there's a balance there. But just to break this down for you guys, Luis Arraez has a .350 career batting average on balls in play. So when he puts a ball in play, it's a hit in his career 35% of the time. An out is an automatic out, right? Or a strikeout, I should say, is an automatic out. If you put the ball in play and you're Luis Arraez and you do it at a higher clip than basically anyone in baseball, you have a 35% chance of that ground ball or line drive or bloop or whatever being a hit. So it matters. Like, I'm not saying you should just be like bunting on every, at bat, but he is showing you that there is still room for this type of hitter in baseball.
So here's the thing too. I think if we're going to have the conversation, if people are going to come and say strikeouts, who cares, strike out, because that's the way the game has gone. The thing that we don't talk about is you actually need to then tell us what ball is being used. Because if it's the juice ball, that might be right. Guys strike out constantly, but guess what? They pop up and, oh my God, it's a home run, right? Mm-hmm. But if you think about it, what we have seen, it feels like through the first 2 months, strikeouts matter because the guys that weren't striking out and got the launch angle right are doing what? They're flying out to the warning track. So now it really does. So now you're back. So if you're going to go down that path and just say, I don't care about strikeouts, you have to tell me what baseball is being used in that game. Because if it's the dead ball, it's a real problem.
Why would
if it's
they want to use
it's not a real problem.
Why would they want to use is the dead ball thing, assuming that they used a dead ball to start the season, which I'm guessing they did,
Yep.
It's not like the players have changed.
Yep.
Are they doing that because they thought, oh, we want more outcomes that aren't home runs, walks, and strikeouts? So if we deaden the ball, it'll force these guys to, put a ball in a gap or hit a ball.
And it'll force teams to steal or try and steal or bunt at times. No question about it.
But all it's doing is minimizing offense. I think the shift is going to have a better impact on the stuff that baseball wants than deadening the baseball.
I don't understand why we can't. I don't get why we can't find the balance in a baseball that would fall somewhere between what we saw in 2019 and now. Like it's the juice ball. Now it's a dead ball. Why can't we, like, it's 2022.
It's a shot put.
We have scientists who can, cure terrible diseases. We can't find a baseball that's just like, okay, this one sort of works really well.
Yeah. Speaking of curing things, this doesn't have to be an embarrassing conversation, guys. Okay, Valley Park Medical Clinic is dedicated to helping with breakthrough ED remedies throughout men in the greater Minneapolis area. Their approach is medical, but the treatments are surgery-free, drug-free, and non-invasive. And so they'll work with you in a discreet manner, make you feel right at home so you can ask any question in a professional, confidential environment to help with your ED. ValleyParkMedicalClinic.com. That's ValleyParkMedicalClinic.com. Also, a shout out to our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been around for over 100 years, helping business owners maximize their success. And Federated and their corporate culture are grounded in these 4 words and these 4 cornerstones, if you will: equity, integrity, teamwork, and respect. These words and cornerstones create the foundation that supports all interactions and decision-making through Federated. FederatedInsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. All right, I hate to be a cold water guy here, but we're all about balance on this show.
Here we go.
My next statement is,
I think I know.
I think it's time for Tyler Duffey to watch from afar.
Do you want to start there and include his friend Dylan Bundy?
Whoa.
Listen,
it's over.
It was windy. The weather was the wind was blowing straight out. Unfair pitching conditions for Dylan Bundy this weekend.
Okay.
Well, I'll start with Duffey. If you want to go down the Dylan Bundy path, you're welcome to. But how about I phrase it this way so it's more of a positive and not just dumping on Duffey? More Duran, more Griffin Jacks. There's a couple other guys with interesting arms. This Giovanni Moran has a bunch of strikeouts so far. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. He's if you can't trust him in that situation with a boatload lead in the 9th inning, and this has happened a couple times with him. He's 31. He's got a lot of mileage on that arm. You might have to do like an obligatory DL stint or something for him, but you can't be running him out there in any sort of danger situation at this point. So
and I think the goal on Sunday, if my guess is right, I think it was that Duran would pitch the final 2, but then he got hit by that comebacker, the first batter in the 8th, and I think they allowed him to pitch the rest of the 8th, but I think they were originally going to have him pitch the 9th too. So my guess is the Duff man was not supposed to be near that game, and they felt forced to use him. But it's not like you can't pitch. You can't have that.
Oh no!
In a game that you should probably win pretty comfortably, and now it's like, oh my God, it might be tied or they might lose.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
All right, my next statement. Phil had a Trevor Larnach statement saying last week that he's the best player in baseball, but I'm going to go a little step.
What?
Not best player in the Twins. Best player in the Twins.
Best player
I'm
ever.
sorry. I was looking at something.
Mays.
I was one step ahead.
Larnach.
My bad.
I heard it too.
Accountability.
Clickbait.
I heard the same exact thing. That's the headline of today's episode. Mackie Larnach is the best player in baseball.
Best player in baseball, Trevor Larnach. All right, my statement though is Trevor Larnach is punishing baseballs.
Get those nerds!
And where I got ahead of myself was let's take a trip down Baseball Savant here. So Baseball Savant, a nice little analytical breakdown of people's swings and tendencies. So let's take a look at where the percentiles are in Trevor Larnach's bat this season. So barrel percentage. So how many times and where is the percentage of his barrels being batted up when he squares up a pitch? He's in the 84th percentile in barrel percentage. So when he hits the ball right on that barrel, he's in one of the best in the league, right? His hard hit percentage, the 81st percentile. So when he hits the ball, he is one of the best hard hitters in all of baseball. Mm-hmm. His average exit velocity is in the 92nd percentile. This dude absolutely punishes baseballs. And if you throw him a fastball this season, Trevor Larnach against fastballs is hitting .339 and slugging .559. So if you throw Trevor Larnach a fastball, it will go bye-bye. We saw it in Toronto this weekend. He has low-key been one of the best players in baseball, but the best players on the Twins this season, and the analytics and percentiles back that up. Trevor Larnach is punishing baseballs.
Good in right field, too. He's got a nice arm.
Yeah.
I really like him out there.
Yeah,
he's a good player, man.
He's going to be around, I think. I think the question is, okay, how much do you trust Kirilloff to be better, and then what do you do with Kepler? Because you do have, when everyone's healthy, you do have kind of a weird logjam here, but I'm good on Kepler. He's having a pretty good season. Might be time.
This is why I think it might be time to shop him, to be honest.
I don't know what, like, he's 29 though. I don't know what you're not going to get. Who's going to take him and give you something of great substance though? That's the question. You have to be like him and something else.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a baseball trade. A team with a surplus of pitching.
I love baseball trades, Phil.
Surplus of outfielders.
I love baseball trades.
Back to Judd.
All right. Off the field, but still Twins related. My statement is this. A star is born. Our friend, Glen Perkins, was so when Corey and Chris and the crew got sick in Detroit, and I think it had to be driven home here, Gladden came off vacation, and he worked a couple of games, the Detroit games with Laudner from here. And then Laudner did Bally Sports North pre and post on the weekend. And so Perk went and worked with Gladdy on CCO. Glen Perkins, ladies and gentlemen, needs to be in the booth. He's incredible.
I think we've known that for years. I mean, he was.
Yeah, but his pre and post is okay. But, it's sort of a brief soundbite thing. Yeah. We've known it, but it confirms it. And I'm not talking about he's good. I'm talking about he's fantastic. And here's what I think. Because I don't think that there's going to be a space for him on the side that he worked on during the weekend on radio. Here's what I think Bally should do, okay? This is very simple, at least for home games. When Morneau is going to work a game, Morneau and Perk, who are buddies, work with Bramer. Bramer is just the traffic cop. He asks questions, goes in and out of breaks, doesn't try and tell you what he knows about baseball, but allows those two to talk baseball.
It would be tough for Richard.
It would be, but I'm okay with that because Perk is fantastic. And Perk could get more from Justin than Dick can as far as drawing him out on strategies and talking about the hitter-pitcher dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, Glen Perkins needs to be working games. Here's what I will give Glen credit for, to the point of I turned the TV sound down and the radio up yesterday. I learned something from him. Morneau, when he started, I felt I did, but now I feel it's sort of like I don't learn much. But in listening to Perk, and to his credit, Gladdy as well, you guys, I learned things. Like they talked about pitching strategies. They on Friday night had a marvelous conversation that Dan initiated about how the Blue Jays catcher Jansen tipped pitches through how he positioned himself.
That's interesting.
It's great stuff.
There was actually John Boyd did a great breakdown.
I watched that
one
too.
of the Tiger starting pitchers, like an 8-minute breakdown of a Tiger starting pitcher.
Great stuff.
Tipping pitches in the stretch, but not in the windup, and just how the Yankees used it to their advantage.
But
so Perk's awesome. Like Perk was part of Perk was part of our show for years.
Yep.
When he was, I think Perk started coming on the show like 2014, 15 at the beginning of our radio show together, and
you.
Yeah, that was like 2013.
That was before me. Yep.
And then he was, a weekly host of the Score North Twin Show a couple years ago. So he's always been amazing in that regard. And I don't know that he's ever been given the same freedom or platform through Bally's or previously Fox Sports North. It's kind of, not to sit here and savage everybody, but that cookie cutter, ESPN does it. The Bally's regional networks across the country do it where, all right, we're going to sit at a desk in suits and ties or polo shirt. Today is a casual polo day.
Right.
Your polo shirt.
It's Saturday.
And we're gonna break down 4 topics, right? It's like it's so canned, and Glen is great and more of a laid back, loosey goosey. Here's a blank canvas, tell a story, give a take on something, and that's why he was so great, with us on the Score North Twin Show and Mackie and Judd. I kind of like the idea of a hybrid, and I think on the radio you almost have to have, because you're describing something to an audience that can't see it. So you do need more of a formulaic play-by-play guy, color commentator. It is laid back. But on TV, do we really need the play-by-play guy telling you there's a fly ball to left field, there's a deep fly ball to center? It's like we're all watching the game. So that's why I love these, like the Manning cast. I love what ESPN's been trying to do with some of these alternate broadcasts. Could you have some sort of hybrid?
Yes.
Where you do have a play-by-play guy, and he's there as a traffic cop, like you're saying, but he's really just there if something needs, hey, guys, we need to pause this conversation because the audience needs to, we got a challenge here at first base or something, right? I love it. Morney and Glen have great chemistry.
It'd be so good.
Glen's a little bit, like Glen's got some punchlines, and he's got kind of a sarcastic, dry sense of humor. I'm in on it. And Jim Cott, when he was in the booth, and I love me some Jim Cott. He's also been a regular on Score North 1500 ESPN over the years. But When Jim Cott and Dick Bramer were in the booth together last week, the average age in the booth was 75. Yeah. How are you connecting with 28 and 38-year-old fans, you know?
The other thing that drove me crazy about that, and I felt bad for Cott, was, and the same thing is done or was done to bring out the worst in Jack Morris as well. When the play-by-play guy sort of chides him into like, well, what do you think about this part of the sport now? It's like what Cott's great at is tell him you have no idea what you just saw, so explain it to us all. That's where he's great. But when you get into how the sport has changed, that is teeing it up for old players to rip it. And that I hated that. What I wanted Bramer to do was literally ask Cott questions about what we were watching and the strategies of those things. Because he's good there.
Right.
But anyway.
He is good there, but part of the problem.
But he's also 80-something.
He's 83.
Defense. Yeah.
And not to be an ageist, because there are plenty of older guys that continue to crush it in media. And Jim Cott still, I think he probably still has his B game, even though he's in his mid-80s. But when he made that molester comment, right, and Nestor came out and said, there's nothing here, guys.
Correct.
That word, if you're 83, means something totally different. Oh, yeah. Now, should you have some awareness on, like people are going to hear that much differently in 2022. And, and Cott, when he brings up examples of pitchers, oftentimes he'll reach into the bag back 50 years ago, and he likes to talk about Camilo Pascual and stuff. It's like,
no, you're right.
Camilo Pascual is like 87 years old,
And the thing that Perk has that I absolutely love is he retired, 4 years back now? 3 years back?
Yeah, he is still 4 or 5 years ago.
He is still very in tune with the game today and strategies, which is I absolutely love. Again, my biggest thing is I feel like I know a lot about sports, but like I didn't play professionally. He did. He knows way more. Can he articulate that? And like Perkins can do that. And that is such a huge thing because then you learn from it. I love that. Anyway, more Perk.
All right. Any final twin statements from you guys? I just saw some. We got our next phase of statements here. There's going to be a late entry. I just saw something come across. It's going to be amazing. Any final twin statements from you guys? This is your last chance to apologize. A full throat apology here. Judd. You've said you were wrong. Now you can apologize.
I was wrong. I was wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong. And Declan's right. You know what? Continue to make me eat my words. You take the Bombers and you mess them up this week. They're coming to your house. They're going to try and spit in your face. And Josh Donaldson.
This is like the movie Major League. The Twins have a cardboard cutout of a scantily clad Judd Zulgad. They're piecing, taking one piece off.
I hope they're not doing that. I hope they're not doing that.
See those Chisel Olivia abs. That's right.
No one deserves that.
All right, we good on Twins.
Let's
here?
Get to the next round of statements.
Okay.